Hey guys, Richard here with eBike Reviews and Adventures. We're going to go for a little bit of a ride. We're going to talk about e-bikes, and I'm going to be riding the green Leopard here. Take it out on the road and do some final testing before we do a final review on this bike. So here we go. Yeah, don't hit me. I don't want to test out this helmet. Alright guys, so we're just out for a little cruise on a Saturday morning here. It's a beautiful day, so I thought, we'll do some more testing with the green Leopard, see how she's doing. So far, I enjoyed the bike. It's performed well. No concerns yet at all with it. But that's not the topic of today's discussion. Today I want to talk to you about, it is windy. So what I have learned is this action camera does very well in the wind, but I just never know when the wind might come through on camera, so I apologize. But what I want to talk about today is the all-purpose e-bike, because recently I posted a video talking about fat tire bikes, whether it be a fat tire or a regular tire bike that you should buy, and I got some comments on that, and I've talked to more people since then, and I found that I really need to share my thoughts with you about an all-purpose bike, because here's the deal. Most people can't afford to buy more than one bike, right? Or if it's a couple, maybe they'll each buy a bike, sure, but that's it. And when they're out there thinking about what type of bike to buy, there's so many different styles, there's so many different options that you can get on a bike. I thought maybe I could share some more thoughts on that and help you out just a little bit. So here's my thing. I say buy an all-purpose bike, or a general purpose bike, however you want to call it. Don't buy a bike that is specific to, say, commuting, that may have small tires, that is great for just running down to the store. Maybe don't necessarily stick with just a full suspension bike that you want to take off-road if you really enjoy off-road riding. Because you might find that after some time that there's some limitations there, and there are bikes that I think that will meet all those purposes, all those scenarios, and that's what I encourage you to take a closer look at, buying something like that. Now here's some examples of what I'm talking about. So most bikes come with a bicycle rack. And so, you can do a little bit of hauling with a bike that has a bicycle rack. If you need to run to the store and grab something, that's great. And you can use almost any bike for that. You can use a commuter bike, you can use a fat tire bike, you can use a cargo bike, any of them will work. But maybe, maybe you have a need to where, on occasion, you need to go across the grass, or you need to go down a gravel road, or something similar. Then you'll quickly find that you're kind of limited to a fat tire bike to meet those needs. Hello. So since the economy is tough on most people, right? I mean, it's expensive out there, and things are getting worse. That's why I'm looking at sticking with a general purpose bike that you can do pretty much everything with. And that will be a fat tire bike, because you can commute with a fat tire bike, you can go off-road with a fat tire bike, and then you can also, as long as it has some cargo rack or the ability to put a basket on the front, you can do some hauling of some cargo, some groceries, and that sort of thing too. So you have options there. Now, recently there's been some exciting e-bikes that hit the market that are in the cargo category. And I like cargo bikes, don't get me wrong, and I think there's a place for them. Hello, good morning. And some of these cargo bikes that are hitting the streets, they have commuter style tires on them, which kind of prevents you from going across the grass, so be on the lookout for that. But then other ones have the full size, or not the full size, but they do have like 20-inch fat tires, which gives you more options to go across rough terrain if you need to, but it gives you the option to haul a lot of cargo if you need to. You can haul kids if you need to, because you can have seats attached to them. And so they are really a good example of an all-purpose bike, because you can do so much with it. Now you might be thinking, well, my needs aren't that great, and I really just want something that I can putz around the neighborhood in, and that's fine. That's your needs for right now, but what are your needs going to be 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now? Will they be the same? So I encourage you to take a moment to look to the future also, and consider what may be changing in your life, what conditions may require you to have something a little bit different. The economy is crazy, and what's going on around us right now is just absolutely nuts. But those are topics for another discussion and another channel. But the point is, the future is uncertain, and with all that we've endured the last few years, we don't know what's going to happen 6 months from now. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or next week, and you may find yourself in a situation where you're not able to drive your car, and you need an electric bike, a bike that you can charge up with a solar panel, for instance, and keep charged. Maybe you have a power station like an EcoFlow or a Jackery or something, and you'd be able to recharge your bike and keep going because maybe the fuel isn't available, or maybe some other circumstance prevents you from being able to drive a car, and all of a sudden we're back in the horse and buggy days and everybody's walking. Well, at least you'll have a bike that you can use to be able to go and maybe get supplies or whatever else you need, and to and from work, or to commute to families or relatives' house, or whatever the case may be. So just be thinking about that when you're out and you're thinking about buying So just think about that when you're out and you're thinking about buying a bike, that what your needs today might be different from your needs tomorrow, and that's something that needs to be considered. Okay, we're somewhere we have never been before. This actually isn't too far from my home, and I didn't know this neighborhood had paths like this, so this is kind of exciting. So we're going to explore this a little bit. And, I'm going to do the exploring, and I'm going to close out this video because there's really nothing more for me to be talking about for today's topic. So if you get any value out of this video, please give me a thumbs up, let me know. And if you have any questions, drop them down below. I'll be happy to help. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss my next video. And I will see you in the next one.